What's up, guys? Welcome to our channel, or rather, welcome back if you're a returning viewer, not here. And today we'll be doing an Invoked Azamina Kashtira Beansmith combo video. That was a mouthful. If you guys like the videos that we've done so far on the channel, or you guys are interested in seeing more videos from us, please leave a like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's jump on into our combo. First, we're gonna start off by summoning Kashtira Fenrir, adding Unicorn. Then we're gonna go Wanted to add a Witch. We're gonna go Witch to remove the Fenrir, setting the Deception. Then we're gonna go Deception, removing the Witch to add Hollow. Now we're gonna special summon the Unicorn that our field is clear, and we're going to add Birth. We're gonna activate Birth, then normal summon Alistair the Invoker, adding our Invocation. Then we're gonna link the Alistair off into Artemis. Now we're gonna activate our Hollow Azamina, revealing the Moon Arcelago to fusion summon by sending the Deception from the field to the grave. Arcelago is going to use its effect on summon to add a sinful spoil of slumber. Now we're going to link those two off into Moon of Closed Heavens. Then afterwards, we're going to use Invocation, banishing the Artemis and the Alistair from the grave to fusion summon into Mekaba. Now we're going to use the Invocation in the grave, shuffling stuff back into the deck, and add in our Alistair from the banished to our hand. Now we're going to link off Moon into Requiem, go Requiem into Lacrima, Lacrima sends Engraver, go Equip, Necroquip, Engraver returns to summon, and now we're going to go Caesar in the extra monster zone. Right here, what we're going to do next is use the Hollowed Azamina's effect in the grave to target the Arcelago in the graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and then return our Hollowed Azamina to our hand. Now we're going to use Hollowed Azamina, send in the Slumber from our hand to fusion summon the Sylvia. Slumber is going to set itself to the field because we have a level 6 illusion monster on the field, and its requirement is to have a level 5 or higher illusion monster in order to set itself on the grave. We're going to use Birth to reborn the Fenrir, and we're going to end our turn. You could use the Wanted for a draw. We're seeing that the Slumber will get banished after its use in our opponent's turn. We're going to slave the Wanted for that and draw in the next turn. So far what we have here is Earth. Whenever your opponent activates a spell card, we can banish 3 cards from their grave face down. We have Unicorn. Whenever they activate a monster effect, we can check their extra deck and banish a card face down. We have Mekaba, which is an Omnigate if you have the corresponding card in hand. So spell for spell, trap for trap, monster for monster. We have Fenrir. Whenever a monster card effect is activated, you can target a face-up card on the field and banish it face down. Caesar with 2 Interruptions and an Omni, which is Sylvia, along with our trap here, which pretty much targets a special summon monster on the field and change it face down. So let's say your opponent impermed your Mekaba and then they activated a monster card effect. You can always activate Mekaba and then just book this face down. Or if your opponent starts their turn off by, let's say, special summoning a Fenrir, you can just book the Fenrir. That's problems. The next thing is you have the Lacrima and Requiem engraved. What Lacrima is going to do in your opponent's turn is return itself into the deck, targeting the Requiem and special summon to your field. And then in the main phase, Requiem is going to tribute itself, special summon the Lacrima from the deck, and the Lacrima is going to send the Fiendsmith Trap from your deck to the graveyard. So that's pretty much what we did here. Requiem into Lacrima. Lacrima is going to send the trap. And what the trap does is whenever your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish it from the grave, send the Fiendsmith monster from your extra deck or deck to the graveyard. That's pretty much it. So you're going to send pretty much a Desiree from your extra deck, and then the Desiree is going to target a card on the field, returning the Requiem from your graveyard to the extra deck and sending that card to the graveyard. Seeing that it says deck or extra deck, this card can be Ash, so please keep note of that. And that will be pretty much it. So yeah. All right, so now let's run through the deck list portion. So what we have here is pretty much nothing out of the ordinary. We have our 3 Witch, 3 Wanted, 2 Deception. This person would play 1 or 3 Deception and probably 2 Witch. But I figured like this ratio is pretty much as solid as it can get. We have our Hollowed Azamina, our main fusion spell, which sends sinful spoil cards from your hand or field for every 4 levels of the fusion monster revealed. And it has an effect in the grave where it targets a Azamina fusion on the field or in the grave to return it to the extra deck to add itself back to the hand. we have our debtors, which is pretty much the same thing as our blow, where it fusion summon using simple spell cards for every 4 levels, and it has a secondary effect where it can banish itself from the graveyard and reborn an Azamina monster. This effect is live as long as you didn't use the previous effect this turn, so you can only use one effect per turn. And the card would most likely be summoned from that effect would be Silvera, because it can still use its effect to negate stuff, while the others can't use their effect because they need to be fusion summoned. Now moving on to the invoke package, we have our 3 Alistair, 3 Meltdown, 1 Invocation. You can try 2, but I figured 1 is the best way to go here. We have our Artemis, which is fuel for our Mechaba package. So we're gonna link off our Alistair into Artemis, and then we just link off the Artemis or just use the invocation to summon Mechaba right away. Mechaba, it's our resident Omnigate as long as you have the corresponding card in hand, whether spell, trap, or monster, to discard to banish. This card under Shifter is a vanilla because it has to send to the graveyard. So if your opponent activates a Retaliating Sea on your invocation, then your Mechaba is pretty much dead. Cannot use its effect. So we were also planning to use Alistair because whenever a fusion monster is summoned to a zone it points to, it can add invocation. So you can just do some cheeky moves like summon Necroquip or summon one of your Azamina to a zone it points to, and you're gonna get a free invocation. Also, on the field and in the grave, it's considered Alistair the Invoker. Now, for the Kashtira part, we have 3 Fenrir, 2 Unicorn, 1 Birth, 1 Planet, and a Terraforming. This could have been a 3rd Antrop, but it doesn't matter. We have our Lacrima, our Engraver, Fiendsmith Trap, and then for the extra deck, we have our Requiem, Moon, Sequence, Hiking Caesar, our Necroquip for the Caesar play, and our Desiree. And for the remaining cards, let's start with our Sinful Spell package. We have our Subversion. It's good to break boards, pretty much. They're going to use Subversion to place a monster on their field into the spell and trap zone. We have our Sorceress, which in a deck that uses Spellcasters and Illusion, it's pretty much, solid. You can use it to dodge targeting effects, like a Fenrir or an Imperm, like on your Alistair. So whenever they try to target it and you have like a Spellcaster or Illusion in your grave for banishment, you can just target that Spellcaster or Illusion on your field, return it to the hand or extra deck, and then special summon from your grave an Illusion or a Spellcaster, grave or banishment. So, and you don't really target the card that you're going to special summon, so they don't know what you're going to special summon, as long as you have more than 1 targets, pretty much. But you have some times where it's obvious which card you're going to go for, but it's a nice play to have. We have our Slumber, which Kashtira is around, so if they summon Fenrir, you put the Fenrir. That's one play like off the chart for them. Also, if they summon a Lori, you can just put the Lori. They can't go into their Fiendsmith package. That way, they'd have to find another way to go into the Fiendsmith package. Also, whenever you have a level 5 or higher illusion on the field, you can just set it back to the field. However, when it's used after that, it will be banished. But seeing that it's a sinful spoil card, once it can shuffle it back into the deck and draw a card, which is no problem for us. So yeah, all our Azamina fusions are level 6 illusions, so it's always going to trigger this card. We have our Silvera. It's an Omni on the field, pretty much Abyss Dragon, or it can be a protection in the grave. So if you open Witch and Silvera, you can just send the Silvera to summon Witch, and then Witch's effect chainlink 1. If your opponent responds, you can banish the Silvera as chainlink 3, and it's going to negate whatever is trying to stop your witch. So they'll have to have another form of resource in order to stop your witch, and you're not really negging because the card that you use to summon the witch is also helping you to progress your game state pretty much. Then we have our 3 Imperm, 2 Mourner, 3 Ash, add space or hand traps. We could have had more space or hand trap, but seeing that we're playing these 3 traps, which these 2 aren't so bad if you open them, but this card, you don't really want to open it. And we have these cards. This can be cut, to be honest, and this also could be cut. This is really good because what it does is whenever your opponent special summon, you're going to banish it from the grave, send a Fiendsmith card from your deck or extra deck to the grave, which would be the Desiree, and it's going to send another card. However, seeing that it says the deck, it can be Ash, so you can't really bank all your hopes on this card, but pretty much Lacrima gets to it. You always want to send it with Lacrima in like your opponent's turn. You're never going to send it in your turn unless you already opened the Engraver, which that is crazy. So yeah, as for the remaining sections of the extra deck, we have our Dragosapelia, our Garura, and Mud Dragon, because I was testing out Super Poly. I love Super Poly. You don't have to play Super Poly, so those could be like 3 extra slots to fill in something else. Yeah, so that would be it for like, a sample decklist. Remember, if you guys like the videos that we've done on the channel so far, or if you're interested in seeing more videos from us, you can subscribe to our channel and leave a like. That would be appreciated, and see you guys next time.